Good morning and welcome to the new episode of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. Recently, we saw that Hamas was using drones to fire bombs, rockets on the innocent civilians in Israel. Of course, most of the missiles and the rockets were not effective because of the Iron Dome. But then it did create a horrible feeling that artificial intelligence dominated war can have serious repercussions. And then we had drones from Pakistan attacking Indian Air Force base, destroying buildings, and not one. And apart from these two attacks, there have been reports of the Pakistan drones bringing firearms, ammunition, rockets, and so on, and just, just dumping it in India for the use by the forces and the groups that are anti-India, terrorists, and so on. So are we entering into the uncharted era of an air war dominated by artificial intelligence, which would be indiscriminate, would not differentiate between the combatant and the non-combatant, which would be oppressive, inhuman. And the way artificial intelligence is being deployed and the fast pace at which artificial intelligence is being deployed in defense systems is making me feel that this is becoming the first frontier. It's already started a race among nations to claim there's a priority in using artificial intelligence for various war tactics. As a part of the initiative for ethical and just artificial intelligence, the scientists recently recommended that all critical systems involving human health, human safety, and human life should have human in the loop. When we say human in the loop, we mean loop mm, primarily implies a driver's seat. But when you're using a drone and it's being controlled by a guy sitting maybe thousands of miles away, would he care to be human? We have got to evolve, according to these scientists, an artificial intelligence system which should not be able to trigger the action, but the final decision should be left to the human being, overriding control over the artificial intelligence system. And this is easier said than done. You can create a Frankenstein, but once you create it, then the control of that Frankenstein may not be in your hands. And the Frankenstein is quite possible going to turn on you. This is like riding a tiger. You can ride a tiger all right. If you're brave enough, you're capable enough. But getting down from the tiger, wow, that's risky. And recently it has been observed that the commercials of the shelf drones, they're easily available. Those reports are easily available. But these drones have the capability of fire and forget. It doesn't require any connection between the operator and the drone's control system. These drones have intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, and kill capabilities. So if it's a fully developed organic unit which will gather intelligence, use intelligence, conduct surveillance, can have recce surveys, and then kill, then go back. And these drones have all that system. I remember that there was a report by United Nations Security Council that Libyan forces were using drone systems and those drone systems were free to choose their targets based on the computer vision algorithms. So they themselves decide where to attack. They see a spiral, they think, well, this might be a tower, and then destroy that tower. The whole mobile system comes to a stop. And without mobiles, the life comes to a stop basically. They see a Red Cross flag flying and now they say hospital and destroy it, killing innocent people over there. And these unmanned drones have been used to target those people whom they want to destroy. Basically, the target has also been identified by the way they dress and the kind of explosive being used by them based on specific information of their groups. See, they can think, okay, we want to destroy XYZ sort of community and find out the characteristics of that community and send a drone there and to destroy that. Artificial intelligence as a technology is not foolproof, let's be very clear, and can earn based on training data. It's very risky to use such a system without human intervention. It can lead to extremely undesirable results for both sides of the game. And such mistakes can be very costly. They have potential to trigger chain events that can potentially start larger conflicts. And do you know, Iran has just now announced, by just now I mean last about 48 hours, that they have a new unmanned drone which can fly up to 3,500 kilometers one way. So it can fly 3,500 kilometers from Iran, destroy the target, and come back. So this is Iran's longest ranging drone. And the commander of the Islamic Republican Revolutionary Guards of Iran, Commander Hossein Salami, announced that Iran has developed this with 7,000 kilometer capacity, 3,500 going and coming. Fly, return home, make landing wherever they are planned to do. If true, and there's no reason for doubting this statement, these can be definitely very destructive. Tehran to Jerusalem, the distance is 1,560 kilometers. So they can easily come and destroy Israel. They have promised to wipe Israel off the map. They want to help Pakistan. They may not attack India directly, but they can supply these to Pakistan. Madras is 2,300 kilometers. Calcutta is about 1,800 kilometers. So they can do that. It's unclear how this would help them. And then, do you know what they have done? This they have called this drone Gaza drone. Gaza is also known as Shaheed 149. Earlier it was Shaheed 149 and it has an operational capacity of 2,000 kilometers. The wingspan is 21 meters and is capable of carrying 13 bombs and 500 kilograms of equipment, and it can fly at an altitude of 35,000 feet in the air. So it is multi-use, as I said, combat, surveillance, and reconnaissance. And they call it Gaza so that, God willing, it can be an eternal honor to those Palestinians who are fighting the Israelis. This drone, the latest Gaza drone, was unveiled on May 21. And it was the same day the ceasefire began between Israel and Hamas after 11 days of rocket attacks. Result? 3 times after the ceasefire, Hamas attacked Israel and Israel counterattacked. Then, along with the Gaza drone, Iran has also unveiled a radar system called Quds, and they also call it Day 9 surface to air missile system. Now, this is a mobile radar system which bears an Arabic name for Jerusalem. Quds is Jerusalem again. It can be deployed and moved very quickly. And you can well imagine, given to the terrorists, this mobile radar system can help them protect and destroy the established governments. And the recent conflict, as I was talking about in Israel and Palestine, is touted by the Israeli media as AI dominated operation, and that's right. First time technology was in a real time feed block, choosing targets based on the impact assessment and pinpoint the location of the targets. But while Israel was using AI to minimize civilian casualties, other governments and the terrorist groups may not be that responsible. So, what it requires an attempt to control these actions. You need integrated data processing center along the decision command, and that has to be multinational. Now, here is where UNO, if it's to be worthwhile, comes into being. They have to establish integrated data processing centers with decision command becomes a key to take decisions. The intelligence coming from the signal units, visual intelligence system, human intelligence, geographic intelligence, all that has to be dovetailed. It has to be merged. Now, this is where Mossad is, and to a great extent CIA and MI6 and French Sûreté. There are 5 organizations today which are very strong. They are taking it. But the point is that the decent non-combative governments like that of, let's say, Thailand, Indonesia, they are in danger. It gives an edge to the groups, terrorist groups in Indonesia are there, Bali is there, and the countermeasures are swift with an element of surprise. Now, what USA, China, and France have done is they have evolved a system perfecting their integrated system with the intelligence gathering from the different stakeholders. But that is beyond the capability of countries like India, Australia, Japan. They have to be dependent on others for most because their intelligence gathering is still not as advanced as that of the countries like USA, China, and Israel is. Now, what is happening is they since they can't do it, they are buying those AI systems. The latest to come up is in Jaguar. Now, Jaguar is the first military robot in the world that can substitute combat soldiers. And what Israel has done is they have stationed Jaguar soldiers on the borders. They are fully substitute soldiers. And they are placing the Jaguars on the Gaza border. It's a semi-autonomous robot. It's maneuverable. It's the first military robot in the world that can substitute combat soldiers. So the human life is saved. And now they have developed a vehicle. The Israel aerospace industries, they have developed Gaza for the Gaza division, this Jaguar, which is both, as I said, a robot soldier. And what it has a 7.62 machine gun, high resolution cameras, transmitters, powerful headlights, remote control PA systems. So they'll be controlled from the command and they'll be getting the information. So it's a simultaneous operation of surveillance, recce, decision taking, and then attack. So the commanders remotely can encounter anything suspicious And then another thing, when USA had that drone and it was spying on Iran, what Iran did was they brought it down and by reverse engineering created their own drones. But Israel has taken a step further. They don't want Hamas and Hezbollah and Quds to take that benefit. So what they have done is it's self-destruct. The moment it falls into enemy hands, it will destroy itself. It has a unique ability to self-drive to set destination, spot, bypass. Now the combat soldiers' friction with the army and prevents human life. I was having a talk with Nathan Kopestein. He's head of the autonomy and robotics in IDF. And he said, this robot can charge itself. It's self-charging as well. So many times, battery will fail. But then Jaguar's development comes at a time when, as I said, the world is at a cusp of AI-dominated war. It is more sharp, more lethal than Israeli defense forces. And General Avi very clearly said that this is going to be the major way of action. I was reading a book, Drone Wars, Pioneers in Killing Machines, Artificial Intelligence. And that book traces the path of change from the mid-70s when Israel blazed away. Drones work for the D cubed, dull, dangerous, dirty. Drones dash dull, dangerous, dirty. So it's a cube. And that has come into being. The US military top short enthusiasm for its advancing technology is far ahead of military decision making. And now drones have become, we have seen, the signature weapons in Afghanistan, in Iraq, and that was during. And yet US is not the hegemony, it's not number one. Today, nearly 100 countries have acquired drones. Iran, Turkey, China have arsenals which you can't imagine. Civilian use has exploded. But then what about India? Where is India? Now India is ordering for the drones. They have extreme research capability and they have not utilized this. One definite result is that the drone warfare has humbled the mightiest powers. USA, Russia, Saudi Arabia. They tremble because of this artificial intelligence dominated war. Iran brought down a US Sentinel in 2011. In September 2019, a drone swarm evaded air defenses and attacked Saudi Arabia's oil fields. So when a swarm means when dozens, scores, hundreds of drones come all of a sudden, fly below the radar and come and destroy. Even Yemen's Houthi rebels, they brought the drones down and they have been fighting in Syria, Turkey, and so on. Insurgents, militants, terrorists, they see drones as a way to flip their weakness. And they are buying just off the shelf quadcopters, helicopters, which are drones called quadcopters. And then, they bring them up to date. Now, how do you stop a drone? They can be held back by blocking GPS signals. But suppose those drones are guided by their own optical system or intelligence. Then, of course, you have got to shoot them down with lasers or missiles. And US is a pioneer in defense. It has a formidable drone dome. There was Iron Dome, and now there's a drone dome. So you would see that coming year, there'll be global concentration on the globe. That would be dominated by the drones. In 2018, China did a dramatic reveal of its capabilities. They showed the world a swarm of drones flying in the formation of a stunning light show. And it has been exporting drones to about 20 countries right now. Militarily, the first country to integrate drones into an all operations is China. And the big names in science, philosophy like Elon Musk, Stephen Hawking, they have said, stop the leash of runaway powers of these autonomous weapons. As a matter of fact, the possibilities are dark. This artificial intelligence arms race is something which is fearful. The specific challenges to the Indian security scenario. China has developed and tested miniature autonomous submarines. Now, drones are those flying the air, people think. But China has also developed submarine drones. And these supported by swarms of drones have a capability to launch suicide missions. Now imagine on the one side the drone is coming, on the other side submarine drones are coming, and the countries that both from the air and from the naval forces. India, till now, as I said, was absolutely asleep. On this side of the warfare, this strategy was lacking. I had sent a paper way back in 2017, which I said, wake up now. But now, luckily, they have waken up. They are aggressively trying to match up. But it requires capability enhancement of the defense forces. We have got to be consistent in developing, utilizing fast evolving technologies. And if we want to stop the repeat attacks of Jammu, then we had better wake up today. And that's also true not only of those countries, but of other countries like, all the Scandinavian countries, for example. Russia can easily move in through those countries. China can move in through those countries. So all around, the war scenario has changed. It used to be a land war. Then the sea war came into being. Then the air came into being. Then the space wars. And now the artificial intelligence, which coordinate all the four sectors: space, air, land, and sea. So when I think of that, I definitely feel alarmed. Don't you feel alarmed? And is it not proper for the governments to wake up today and the scientists to ensure that this sort of a thing comes to a stop? But would the politicians be responsible enough? Wait and watch. Thank you.